the New York City food cart. It's such an iconic dream, right? Serving up hot dogs or pretzels on a busy street corner. But behind that simple picture is a really, really complex journey of paperwork, permits, and inspections. So if you've ever actually wondered what it takes to make that dream happen, well, this is the explainer for you. We are going to break down the entire founder's roadmap, step by step.
So here's how we're going to tackle this. We'll start with a big picture overview, then we'll dive deep into the three main phases: laying your foundation, navigating all the licenses and logistics, and then getting that final green light. And we'll wrap it all up with what you really want to know, a look at the actual startup costs. Okay, so before we get lost in the weeds with all the applications and the fees, let's just zoom out for a second. It's super helpful to see the entire roadmap from start to finish. It'll make all the individual steps make a lot more sense. You can really think of this whole process in three distinct stages. Phase 1 is all about the boring but necessary stuff, laying the groundwork and making your business a legal entity. Then, Phase 2 is where you get into the food-specific things: safety courses, finding a home base for your cart, and getting the right licenses. And Phase 3? That's the final sprint to the finish line, passing inspections and getting ready for opening day.
First off, a really crucial piece of context. Who actually makes the rules here? Well, while New York State has its general food safety laws, New York City is a whole different ballgame. The city has its own much, much stricter system, and it's all run by the Department of Health and Mental Hygiene, or the DOHM. So everything we're about to talk about falls under their watch. And just so we're all on the same page, when we say pushcart, what are we actually talking about? We mean these hand-pushed, non-motorized carts. The classic hot dog stand. Now, the process for a big food truck is kind of similar, but the permits and some of the rules are totally different. All right, let's dive right into Phase 1, laying the foundation. Before you can even think about what kind of mustard you're going to serve, you have to exist as a legal business. These first steps are absolutely non-negotiable. So in this first phase, you've got two main tasks. Step 1, register your business. A lot of folks choose to form an LLC, which you do at the NY Department of State. That'll set you back about $200 and takes a few days. Step 2 is getting your tax numbers in order. You need a federal EIN from the IRS and a sales tax number from the state. The good news here, the EIN is free and you get it instantly online, and the state registration is also free, though it might take a week or two. So your business is officially legal. Now we move into Phase 2. This is really the core of the whole process. We're shifting gears from paperwork to the real-world stuff, like food safety, where you'll park your car tonight, and of course, getting those critical licenses. So what's next? First up, food safety. You have to, and I mean have to, pass a 15-hour food sanitation course. It's not too expensive, usually under $40. Next, and this one's a biggie, you need a home for your cart. You are required to secure a licensed commissary. Think of it as a commercial kitchen where your car gets cleaned, stored, and stocked every single day. This is not optional, and you can expect to pay anywhere from $400 to $1,500 a month for rent. Okay, now we're at step 5, and this is super important: getting your personal license. You got to understand, this license is for you, the person, not for the cart itself. It's what gives you the legal right to sell food. You'll apply with the DOHMH, show your ID, and even get fingerprinted for a background check. The whole thing can take anywhere from 2 to 8 weeks and costs a little under $200. Once you have it, it's good for 2 years. So, you're a licensed vendor. You're all set to start selling, right? Well, not so fast, because even though you personally are licensed, your pushcart itself still needs its own permission to be on the street. And this, my friends, is where we hit the single biggest roadblock in this entire journey. This right here is the Mobile Food Vending Unit Permit. It's the license for the physical cart. To even apply for it, you need your cart's floor plan, your commissary contract, and your personal vendor license all ready to go. And this is where things get, well, complicated. And here's why. You have to listen to this because it's critical. New York City puts a very strict cap on how many of these permits exist. The official waiting list to get a new one directly from the city isn't just a few weeks or months. We're talking 1 to 3 years, sometimes even longer. This quota system creates a massive bottleneck. So how does anyone get started? Great question. Because of that insane wait time, a whole secondary market has popped up. Most new vendors are basically forced to buy a permit from someone who already has one. And the cost? It can range from a jaw-dropping $10,000 to $20,000. This is, without a doubt, the biggest and most painful hidden cost of this whole venture. Okay, take a deep breath. Let's say you've somehow navigated that permit nightmare and you've got one. Congratulations, because you are officially on the home stretch. We're in phase 3, the final go-ahead. This is all about passing those last few inspections before you can finally open for business. You're now facing what I like to call the final inspection gauntlet. There are 3 main checkpoints. First, the DOHMH needs to inspect your actual cart to make sure it's sanitary. Second, you'll need your municipal business registration. And third, and this is a big one, if you're using propane for cooking, the FDNY has to do a gas safety inspection. Here's a pro tip. Make sure your cart has everything it needs, like a hand washing sink and a wastewater tank, before you schedule these, or you'll just face delays. The last couple of steps are all about covering your bases and knowing the rules of the road. You must get business liability insurance. It's required. Then you just have to operate smart. Don't block sidewalks, stay away from schools and fire hydrants, keep your area clean, and always, always have your licenses with you. And just be ready for random inspections a few times a year. We have made it through the entire process, from that first spark of an idea to the final inspection. But what's the damage? Let's get to the bottom line and look at a realistic breakdown of your first-year startup costs. Okay, let's just look at the official fees and the required services for a minute. You've got your business registration, the food course, permits, inspections, insurance, and that first month of commissary rent. When you add it all up, you're probably looking at a total somewhere between $1,400 and $4,000 for these initial costs. But, and this is probably the most important slide in this entire explainer, that number we just saw is just the tip of the iceberg. It does not include the 2 single biggest expenses, the cost of buying the physical pushcart itself and that wild 5-figure cost of getting a permit on the secondary market. When you factor those in, the financial reality changes a lot. Look, we know we've thrown a ton of information at you. So to help you out, here is the list of the official government websites for every single step we talked about. This is where you'll find the actual forms and the most current info, so definitely use these as your go-to source. So there it is, the complete founder's roadmap. The good, the bad, and the very, very expensive. You've got the steps, you understand the timeline, and you have a real picture of the costs. So the only question left is the one that only you can answer. Is the dream worth the journey?